Hello, everybody. My name is Dylan Willitzer, and welcome to the greatest lyrical, wordsifical experience of your entire life. You will never be more enthralled or titillated or, frankly, just
Nauseous.
bored. Welcome to the basement.
Yeah, that was amazing. Actually, that was pretty good.
I'm sick to my stomach.
Well, I tried.
All right, well, now that that's over, good job, Dylan.
We didn't even announce what the podcast was going to be about. It's all right.
Today's podcast will be about anything. Alex, you go first.
Okay.
We're gonna hand it over. I'll do the introduction.
Okay.
You mindless idiot. Wait, are we live?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, then I guess we'll stick with Dylan's original intro.
I thought it was pretty good, honestly. I pulled that right out of my butt. Just like that.
Yeah, it was pretty good actually. For our first couple times.
Go to hell. Go to hell. That's you don't patronize me. Yeah, that's good for your first couple times. I just spilled my heart out to you guys, and you're just pooping all over it. You know that?
I don't mean to poop all over, Dylan. Maybe if it wasn't such. Dang, now we're live. See, this internet stuff's not for me.
Awesome. So
All right.
yeah. So I guess today's
What are we talking
so
about,
yeah.
Alex?
So today's podcast it's going to be more or less about experience with drugs. I guess we're going to dive into our experiences with them, and then about how that affects mental health and the person in a whole as
All right.
the drugs. So whoever wants to talk about their first drug experience, and then we could tie it in on how that could affect your life, if that's okay. Dylan, do you want to go first?
Oh, just put me right on the spot there. Okay, I see
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah.
It's a one out of two chances. So 50,
My first
50.
drug experience. Well, so I was about 4 years old, and no, I'm kidding.
God.
My first drug experience. Wait, what?
Not your
What are you
first,
talking about?
not your first one. Like whatever experience you want to talk about. Like you could talk about your most traumatic drug experience, then you could talk about like one that you had happy drug experiences with.
I have a lot of traumatic drug
Talk about your first drug experience.
Yeah, talk about your first one. That'd be a good
I'll
one.
talk about my first edible experience.
Okay.
How about that?
That's fine. That works.
So it was senior year of high school, that summer after we graduated, right? I'd been smoking weed for off and on for the couple weeks previous.
Nice.
So I hadn't had much exposure to that side of that side of my life in terms of weed or any sort of substance. In fact, I think that my first time ever smoking was like 2.5 weeks before this even happened. So I went over to my buddy's house. His name's James. I won't say his last name, obviously, just in case. And I'm kind of just always wanted to try because, you hear in high school, I got smacked off that edible, bro. Like, I was in freaking space. So I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. So I'm like, James, you got any edibles? And he's like, yeah, man, I'm just cooking up these brownies. I mean, you can take one or two. They should get you right. So I'm like, I haven't smoked before. How much of this should I take? Right. And he said, like, take half of it. So I'm like, okay, and I buy 2 of them. I get home. This is back when I was living just me and my mom. And I pop one. And at first I'm like, okay, it's that typical naiveness where when you eat one of those, it's like, okay, I don't feel anything. It's been like 20 minutes. So about 45 minutes in, I took the other half. Probably hindsight was one of the worst decisions I've ever made. Um, the experience itself was really great at first. There's about 30 minutes where I was high as a kite, laughing at everything, you know, um, and I was just having a good time. But then all of a sudden, I started to feel like whenever I closed my eyes, I was on the Diamondback at Kings Island, like my ship, everything was spinning. Um, like every time I closed my eyes, and it got to the point where it was translating my eyes. I felt dizzy, and I got so freaking destroyed. I had to stumble my way to the bathroom, and I threw up so many times in a row that I was literally could not physically throw up anymore. And
Yeah.
I sat against my bathroom door, and it's one of the few times in life where I've sat in a situation that I've been in, which is funny knowing Eli, that I sat and thought, I'm actually going to freaking die right here. Because it was like it was to a point where I was so dizzy, I could barely conceive reality. I was just like, I couldn't, like, my vision was blurred. I was like sitting there. I felt, you know, like that I had made a fatal mistake and the drugs were freaking laced or something. Um, so, and then I got the best advice that I could ever have gotten on edible. My mom, I was like flipping balls to my mom. I guess hindsight, when I wasn't high, I was probably being over dramatic, and she was just like, "Okay, he's fine." So she was laughing at me, but she's like, "Just go in your bed and like lay down and just don't think about anything." So I did that, and it actually worked. And I woke up 4 hours later, and I actually woke up, sat up in bed. I felt better, and I was like legitimately happy to be alive. So that's my first experience with edible.
Wow. Wow.
Moral of the story is do not take, you don't overtake drugs that or like, well, I say drugs like all of them. No, I mean weed. Do not smoke more than you're comfortable with, or eat more than you're comfortable with.
Yeah. Okay.
So you threw up like, how many times are we talking here? Like,
I would
you said
say
until you're
9
completely
times at
empty.
least.
Oh my
That's
gosh!
a
And is
lot.
it because you got to a point? You got to a point where you were so dizzy
I
that you
don't
were
even
just
know. I don't know how to describe it. It was just to the point where I could not function. Like I was just out of it. Like it just felt like I was fucked. I was drunk without all this, like the slurring of words and all that shit. It's like, I think what happened is I had a panic attack.
just because you were scared of what was happening?
I think so. Yeah.
What? Well, I'm glad that you're okay, man. And now you do it all the time.
Now
Yes,
you're
I do.
yeah. Now you're a pro.
Okay, I wouldn't go
Blessings.
that far, but
Now he's an expert. This guy.
okay.
It's not a bad thing.
The
Whatever you
bad
say.
thing. All right, Alex, what was yours?
My shit. What was my first drug experience? Uh, I think it was. Oh, dude, it was with somebody I probably shouldn't have done the drugs with. Um, somebody that we hate now, or you guys hated for a very long time. It was with Jake. It was at um, New Year's 2016, I think. You guys will know the story when I say it. But it was New Year's, and me and Jake were chilling at his house. We were dabbling. This is when Jake like got into weed. Um, and he was like, "Hey man, let's just let's do it. It's New Year's Eve. Let's have a fun, turn up." play some video games, you know, get high and stuff. And I'm like, you know, whatever, sure, fine. And we got like super, super high. I was fine at first, but then I felt like sick to my stomach. I felt really dizzy. And then I got a phone call. I got a phone call, and it was to go get my sissy from a party. I feel like you guys know the story. But we were like extremely high when we drove over there, and we had no idea what was going on. And when we got there, because I didn't really take much of the conversation on the phone, because, you know, I was not in this universe at that moment. But when we got over there was like a bunch of cops, a bunch of ambulances, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? And we go in, and apparently, you know, a bunch of people, you know, were off that synthetic amphetamines. What was it, Flocka at the time? Some type of like bath salt almost. And yeah, no, I was just super high, went over there, and the cops started talking to me, and I was like, damn. You know, I in my head, I'm like, I'm going to jail. Like, one, I drove over there, and then two, they sat there and questioned me for like an hour and a half, and I'm like, this is not fun. And so that was kind of my first experience. It didn't really make me want to do it again, but then, you know, Chick-fil-A happened, and
Wait, why did you need to pick up your sister from the party? It was just because it was going bad?
No, you don't remember?
Oh, that was the one?
That was the one. That was the one
Dang.
that landed her in the hospital.
Dang.
But it wasn't really her fault. I mean, the alcohol was, but the drugs weren't.
Right.
But it was just traumatic for me because, you know, I'm like super fucking high, and I'm like, I have no idea what to do. I mean, my fight kicked in because I was like, I gotta save her, but then it's like the ambulance people stopped me, the cops stopped me, and I'm like, fuck, man, I'm going to jail here. Like, there's no way I'm getting out of this because this is my first time being high, and I didn't know how to orient myself at the moment. And so I tried to stay calm and stuff, and it was bad. It was just bad. But yeah, no, that was the night. And then I thought my parents were going to catch me because I had to go to the hospital with them. I was high as hell in the hospital, just sitting there. And it was just terrible. No, I don't really have it. That was my first time doing it. That wasn't probably my most traumatic time doing it, but that was definitely my first time doing it.
Yeah.
Me and Dylan have had some pretty traumatic instances with drugs.
I think so.
In the past, I mean, come on now.
I don't know.
The most recent thing me and Dylan got into, which I probably should not talk about at this moment because that would probably land us in jail. But Dylan, you know what it is. You know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
We're talking about the sugar.
The sugar. Oh,
The
jeez.
happy sugar.
The
What?
cocaine that you did. The cocaine that you did, don't be, it's the internet, but, you know. You can say that you did whatever you want.
Yeah, you're right, it's the internet. I'm not getting canceled. Fuck these snowflakes. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, so we did cocaine. We did
cocaine!
We did a bit too much, I would say. Like, we did it too fast. Not like we did too much.
I'm not gonna lie, I had
fast.
a dream. Funny you bring that up. Like 2 days ago, I had a really vivid dream where we were all at Broad Ripple on Saturday night hitting blow.
Oh, really?
Like, all three of us. It was weird. Huh?
So what if I was like, yeah, bro, because I came down and we did that.
I'd be like, well, I really have a couple of stones to unturn because I have hit rock bottom.
What about you, Eli? What was your first experience? I don't think I've ever heard your first experience.
My first experience with drugs was, so it was what was it? It was a little bit after a Halloween of like maybe sophomore year or something. And I was with a couple of friends and we had really remember how I got to, what I was doing at their house, but I was at their house like after school or whatever, and we'd gone down the street to this other guy's house that was like a mutual friend of at least them, not really a mutual friend to me. And it's just, a classic scenario, when you find yourself kind of surrounded by the right crowd, and they've got, we went down to the basement, it was like a little hangout area, and they all started smoking, and, as good potheads do, they want to get everyone they know to smoke pot with them for some reason, and they couldn't resist sharing their expensive weed for free with me, even though I really didn't care about doing it or not. But I guess you get a really generous mindset going when you start smoking pot, because whatever, they just so desperately wanted me to. And so I went in, I did it, and I was unsupervised. So I was taking hits from their ball. There's a ball. And I figured that you had to do a lot, like smoking cigarettes, right? You smoke like the whole thing. So I kind of really set out to sit there and smoke, and they kind of left the room and just let me smoke, or just let me be in there, and they had figured that I had taken one hit. But in actual fact, I was basically sitting there just smoking the shit out of it. And I probably took like 6 good takes from this bong. And when they came in, they saw me doing it again. They're like, "Are you doing it for a second time?" And I was like, a second time? They're like, "Yeah, like that's pretty, that's a lot for your first little sitting." And I was like, "Oh, well, I've been fucking ripping this as many times as I could since you left." And they're like, "What?" And I don't know if they were more upset that I was smoking that much weed of theirs, or they were like genuinely concerned, but nothing really major ended up happening. I kind of just got lost in thought, basically, on a couch, and I got stuck like a motherfucker on the couch. I was just sitting there staring off into the void, unable to move or really think about things. And it was a blissful experience, though. I really did like it. Can't beat it.
Meanwhile, me and Alex are going to hospitals and throwing up, and Eli's just sitting on the couch.
I remember my other time I did, Dylan, I know you remember this. You were there for this one. When we hung out with Zach Thomas for the first time. You remember?
Alex got so high that he played Grand Theft Auto 5 with his eyes closed, and he was still playing like normally.
I was running ice normally.
He can see things before they happen. It's a Jedi trait. Apparently, it's a Stoner trait too.
Yeah.
I swear to God, we all were staring at his eyes because we couldn't believe it. He was just sitting there, like making money, but his eyes were fully closed. To this day, I have no idea how that worked.
I mean, I don't know. I've done it only a select few times in my life, and every single time is pretty good. It's a really chill thing for me.
Yeah, it's chill now.
I guess
But
in my instance, I probably should have stuck with the most dramatic story instead of the first one. But then again, I don't even really have one of those, so I think weed's a really fun, easygoing time.
yeah, and I like it just because it's natural, It's not. I mean, it's a chemical that enhances it fucks up your brain molecules, but it doesn't. If you do it on occasion, it doesn't mess with your memory. But if you do it all the time, like every day, like when we were in the apartment, me and Dylan, we would do it every day, and we would start noticing that we would fucking lose track of the day, or we would forget like what we talked about before we started that. Like we would literally lose our memory.
Yeah, it fucks with your memory, bro.
Yeah. So now we've started doing it more controlled, we still smoke a good amount, but it's not like 24/7 now. It's more like
I've been on a little bender, but no, it's not crazy. You know, here and there. Eli.
I mean, yeah. If you're gonna be doing something, like, that's the thing to do. You know what I mean?
I've just been having an issue where I just can't drink, really. Like, every time I drink, the last, 5 times, I just can't stop. I don't know what's going on. So I've been trying to avoid drinking, so that's why I've been sticking with weed.
you've been getting
Oh.
addicted.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
buddy.
you said the other day, Eli, apparently I called Lexi, and I was so inaudible that you guys couldn't understand what I was saying. Which is... You gotta send that to me, bro. I gotta listen to that.
She didn't send it. I had to listen to it off. She had to call me on her computer and play it.
Was she laughing at me or something?
But yeah, dude. Hell yeah. It was so bad. I mean, I don't even know, I mean, you were like, it's not even an exaggeration. That was just
Dude,
exactly how.
you keep saying that's super bad. I just find that hilarious.
No, it was hilarious. It was so hilarious. I'm just saying, you were so drunk.
So I literally was inaudible. It's like, you want
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I've never seen anyone that.
I mean, we
drunk.
can talk about alcohol because it technically is a drug if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean anything that's addictive is a drug technically.
Well, it's also other characteristics, but yeah.
Right? Yeah. We can talk
Remember the
about alcohol.
first time?
Hey,
Eli, remember the first time we got drunk together?
Dude,
Tell that story.
you tell that story.
No, you're better at telling this story, please, and I'll tell the next one about you.
Oh, you definitely tell this one. My memory's not so good on that. So.
When you, me, and Xander drank in the back of your house?
Oh, right at on my mom's porch. Yeah.
Yeah,
we, so,
I want you to tell it because you were more awake for the whole situation.
yeah, we got a bottle of vodka or something, and my mother had a screened-in porch, in the back of our house. And it was really nice, right? Did we make hot dogs or something?
Yeah.
On the grill. On the grill, yeah. So we grilled out some hot dogs, and mind you, what are we like? Wow, 15, 16. You know what I mean? Not that old. And it's so late. My mother works the night shift, and she got home at 4 o'clock in the morning or something. But we were just sitting there, grilling up some doggies, taking shot after shot after shot of this disgusting cheap vodka, and you were on another plane of existence at this point. Eyes not meeting anybody's stare, talking about whatever you wanted, even if it didn't pertain to the situation. It was hilarious. But then remember, we heard the garage door open. So my mom had come home earlier or something than we expected, and every time you had poured a shot, you spilled half the bottle on the table. So my whole even the screen-in porch area it filled with the vodka smell. My mom walks in. A, it's weird that you guys are out that late, and B, it smells like booze. You're blitzed. I'm blitzed. Didn't Xander leave at this point though?
No, I think we all left.
So yeah, you guys are both drunk. Xander acts a lot more sober than you do, and you were acting so drunk, and it was so obvious. And I don't know why we didn't just be hey mom, we were having some drinks, but whatever. We were kids. We were worried about what to say. Either way, you acting so drunk, and we were like, me and Daniel were like, dude, he's gonna get us caught. And you walked in the living room, like, should I say hi to your mom? And I smacked you like a freight train from hell. Right
I
across
remember that. That slap hurt so bad, and I was still fucked up. So it must have been a.
You were, yeah, I don't know why I thought a physical injury would sober you up. That doesn't make any sense. But I tried. Didn't work. You were still super drunk. But you know what? It did help you to act a little bit more sober for a second. So, all in all, it wasn't the worst decision I've ever made. And we got off completely free. My mom did suspect that we might be alcoholics, though, because it was the smell. She didn't realize that we spilled so much of it. She thought that was like coming off of our breath and stuff.
Damn.
But we had just spilled that much vodka all over A, ourselves, and B, the table. So that was our first little drunk experience.
Dylan, do you remember our first drunk experience? Because
I don't remember.
You don't remember? We were at one of Jake's parties back in 2017 or 2016, and I drove you to Chicago.
Oh yeah.
I was fully impaired. Dylan was in and out of impairedness to sleep to impairedness to being like, where the fuck are
I
we?
wake up and I see the sign for Chicago. He's like, we're going to Chicago. I'm like, what?
That took us all the way to fucking Chicago and back. Like, we hit Chicago, and then I turned around. I was like, this probably isn't a smart idea. Because it's like 1 a.m. at this point. And so I turn us around, and Dylan's like, where are we? And then I'm like, man, dude, we're driving around Chicago. And he's like, no fucking way. And as soon as he passed back out, that's when he saw the sign on the way back. He was like, dude,
I was
actually
awake
went to
probably.
Chicago.
I was awake probably for
30%
30.
of it. Yeah.
No, like 30 minutes out of the 6 hours we were probably driving.
Yeah, it was a wild experience. I'm
There
surprised.
was this one time, this one's short. There was this one time I was going to pick up Eli from a party, and it was hard to get communicated with him because he was so impaired. And I was picking him up because we were supposed to go to another party. And I'm driving down this dark apartment complex, and all of a sudden I hear a bang on my windshield because I'm driving at 5 fucking miles an hour. And it's just Eli like, hey, bro, what's going on? You ran me over. And then screams at the top of his lungs how I'm running him over in the middle of the street. Just and falling over inebriated.
It was, and it's just right there in the middle of the apartment complex, too.
And you couldn't accurately describe where you had come from.
I don't know. That's terrible. That is extremely drunk then.
The only thing you were able to tell me is that you had a race and you were jumping over fences.
Yeah, we did.
So he just beats himself up over it.
Yeah, I don't know why we were doing that. I just vaguely remember jumping over the fence.
Me and Dylan have a lot of drunk tales. We have a good
Me and Eli have a lot of drunk tales as well.
I know. I need to make some drunk tales with Eli when he gets back.
Oh, we will burn it down, my friend.
We will burn it down, friend.
Hopefully I won't get too drunk because it's the last 5 times I've just told myself I'm just gonna get a good buzz going and then I'm gonna be good.
And then he's like 10 shots deep after that.
I don't know, dude. I'm a warrior.
Dylan gets home next day. He texts me. He's like, "Dude, why did you let me drink so much? Or why did you
Because you let me put down like 5 pitchers from Brothers, bro.
Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do to help the brothers out."
You kept telling me to drink them.
You were chopping it with women though all night, so you can't blame me.
Yeah, but I threw up and missed work the next day.
Yeah, that is true. I think I did get you fired. I think I did get him fired from that job for getting him too drunk.
Yeah, we all been through
At
that
least you had some arbitrary conversations with women that you'll never remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I was too drunk. A lot of them tell me their Snapchats, and I'm just so drunk, I just move on with the night. And then next day, I'm like, "What was it?" I'm like, I don't remember.
Way.
You cutting out, Eli?
Oh, am I? Is that better?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
better.
Alex can
I was
talk
just
now.
trying to find myself being more away from the phone. What a waste, man. That's an interesting thing, talking to women while you're just absolutely blitzed.
Yeah.
I think
Never
it's
goes.
successful, but it's just hard to be charming when you're fucking talking like you're just fucking ran a fucking marathon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I think I was there that I was God, dude. Remember the time, Dylan, when I went to the race and I came and I went out and drank with you? Oh no, I didn't. I went out and drank alone because I was like, I want to keep drinking. So I went out to Brothers, and I was already drunk for like 12 hours at this point, continuous, and I kept drinking, and I drank for like another 8 hours. I don't know how I held up that long. Usually I'm a bitch and I bitch out quick, and I'll admit that. But this time I didn't, and I I got so drunk, and I'm at Brothers, and like 2 or 3 North Central people walk up to me and they like start asking me questions, and I'm like, I'm so incoherent at this point, and I think I'm just like shrugging off of what they're asking me. I'm sitting at the table just sipping on my pitcher, trying to get it down, and then I get up and two of my friends walk in out of nowhere. Jacob, not the one that we hate, but the cooler
Fuck
one.
Jake.
No, the cooler one. His name is Jacob, not Jake.
I
That's
know.
the cooler version. But he walks in. He's like, "Hey man, let's drink more." And I'm like, "Damn it, dude! I'm like 16 hours in now." And so we just drank more, and I think I left that night at like 2 a.m. So it was like 22 hours of just straight continuous drinking. And I mean, I felt good, but when the next day did not feel good. Like Sunday when I woke up, I felt like all hell was coming to reality, and I was and I was like seeing my great demise and my fall of my life happening in one split second of a dumb decision. But nonetheless, it was fun. It was a fun 22 hours of drinking. Like I said, I don't know how I survived that long. Usually when I drink, you guys know me. Done after like 3 or 4 shots, depending on the shots. But
Good shots.
do what?
Good shots, though.
Yeah, no, I do like Vegas bombs and stuff. Like I mix my shots around, so I'm not drinking the same shot over and over again. So I'm drinking different versions and different types, so that way my palate stays, unrecognizable to what I'm drinking, so I cannot get nauseous. Because I notice if I drink the same thing continuous, I start getting nauseous, or my stomach hurts, and I just don't feel like drinking anymore. But if I mix them around, then it confuses my body. That may just be me, though. I don't know. That might just be me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say with all that stuff. I think everyone's so different, too.
Yeah, everybody's got a different build. Like Dylan can drink anything he wants, and he'll only regret it the next day if he drinks too much. But he can literally hold his
I probably
entire
put
night.
down 25 shots.
Dylan once ordered. He tried to order 5 Patron shots from the bartender. She rejected that. She was like, "I can get you 2 right now, and then 2 after that." It was just so funny. Cause like he went into the bar. He's like, "I want 5 shots," and she's like, "Is it for your buddies too?" And he's like, "Nope, just me." And she's like, "I could do 2 right now."
I should have said it was for you guys, and then
Just drank them all. You could have.
I
mean,
can't wait.
God. You would just sit there and knock back 5 shots like that.
He did. I mean, he knocked back 3 in a row, and then a whole bottle of Corona. I posted it to my Snap at one point. That was the night that those I swear they were teenage girls, but they pulled up and they're like, "It's my birthday," and they were trying to get us to buy shots, and we're like, "We're not stupid. Like, we're drunk, but we're not stupid." They're clearly under 21, but who cares? I'm not a bouncer.
Well, yeah, you are dumb then, because if they're in the bar.
No, they were definitely under 21. They Dylan can
In
agree.
the bar.
No, they use fake IDs. They use really good ones.
But the bar.
Well, it was Average Joe's though, so it's a bar that like is lenient on carding. Like their carding system is literally, let me
Alex,
see
I
your
don't think
ID.
you're
and
right
then
on
hand
this.
it. Dylan, the birthday girl was definitely under 21.
I don't remember this. Any of
It
this
was with
occurring.
Kaya. It was with Kaya, Juan,
Let
and
me
Alan.
just explain this. Let me explain this. You're in a bar, right? Right?
Right.
Right.
And girls inside the same establishment who have just, you're in a bar, so they got into the bar, you're in the bar, you both have passed the bouncer's screening, right?
Correct.
Whether or not they're using a fake ID or not, that's the bouncer's and the establishment's job.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. No.
That's what you're saying.
No. Yeah. No. That's no. The point is that they tried to get us to buy shots, and whether or not they got past them or not, we were like, we're not going to be simping and try to buy you guys shots like over, because they were trying to get us to buy multiple shots per person, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'll take one of you, get your Snapchat number, and like, have a little sexy time after this bar, but I'm not going to sit here and spend $200 buying you guys shots, because I'm not financially stupid like that. Nor is Dylan.
I don't need to buy girl shots. When I text a girl, I say BTB, and that's all I need to say. You know what that stands for? Bring that booty.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I was there. They did try to get us to buy shots. I bought one because it was her birthday, but that's it.
Yeah, I think I bought one for her birthday, and that was it. And then I went over to the other side with Kaya, because it started getting like kind of, Dylan was making his move on a girl, so I didn't really want to interfere, so I left.
Oh, is that the night I kissed
Yeah,
that
that's
blonde
the night
chick?
that you kissed that blonde chick. Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
I moved. That's why I moved to the other side with Kaya, because the girl that I was interested in was on that side. So I left you with that girl, and Juan was like, he was sitting there drinking. I don't know. Did he have his like beer pitcher or something? After like he had a few shots, he bought a pitcher and just sat there.
Yeah,
and
you
drank.
guys always quit early.
I was still drinking. I was still drinking on the other side. I ordered like 2 or 3 more shots on the other side and drank them. I left you with her because I didn't want to cock block you, so I allowed you to make your move and take your time alone.
Appreciate that.
Because I don't know what I could have done in that situation. I can't, like, there's no way I could. I mean, you already had it covered, so there's nothing I could help you with or like make her want you more, because you seemed like you already had it down. So I
Appreciate
left
that.
you.
But I'm just a cruel man in a cruel world.
Well, I mean, is there any other topics you guys want to cover? I mean, or Eli, you got to get cutting soon. We're pushing 40 minutes almost. So
Yeah, I gotta get.
yeah. If you got to
Yeah, it's a good little talk about all of our big traumas in life.
Yeah, and then I'll definitely be reaching out in the group chat. Let you guys figure out a topic you guys want to talk about. Just start throwing ideas out, and then just.
Oh, I don't see it. We're about the halfway point. I'd like to announce our sponsor. We're sponsored by Star Wars Battlefront 3, coming out next year.
Yeah.
Gets demonetized. Video blocked.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. We're not sponsored by Star Wars. We're only sponsored by the true will to succeed.
But Star Wars, if you want to sponsor us, please, by all means.
Yeah,
Send us
I
some
mean,
money. We'll call you out.
it's gonna be really cheap. It'll only be like $1,000 per episode.
Ah, that's fine. It's at least a sponsor.
Rent.
Yeah, that's
So it'd
basically
be,
it.
Yeah, just pay our rent and we'll sponsor you. No biggie.
All right. Well,
Wait, so are we done? I'm confused. What's happening?
Yeah. I'm about to end it. Eli, do you want to?
Oh, that was a short podcast, you little bitch, Willow.
I told you 40. It was Eli said he can only do for 30 minutes, and we've now hit 40 minutes.
What do you got to do tonight, Eli?
Anything but this.
All right, Eli, do you want to do the outro, and then we can talk in private, us three?
This has been, what episode is this?
Episode 6.
Wow, you've done 6 of these. We need to get this more fleshed out. But it's been a happy episode 6 of Out of the Basement. We'll see you next time.